Hello, Resilience. Welcome to Night with JRU chapter, a talk where we will delve into the different topics of communication. Today, we will be focusing on communication conflict. To discuss communication conflict, we have here our guest, Professor Gemma Garcia.
Potentially negative impact. So my question is, what are the ways you use to resolve the communication conflict?
Okay, so for me, in order to solve these communication conflicts or to avoid them or to solve this, or if not to eradicate, meaning minimize or totally avoid this communication conflict, we must know how to be clear and concise, meaning uh, whatever message you want to relay, you have to be concise or clear with your thoughts or message. Another one, both parties will be active listeners, meaning you must know how to give and take. You must not do the talking alone. You must also know how to listen. And the listeners must also focus on understanding, not only responding, meaning you must get the thought, you must get the message of what you are going to uh, communicate or what you must receive from the sender of the message. And of course, you have to clarify misunderstandings. Say, for instance, you did not understand the lesson of your professors. You must clarify what specific idea you didn't understand. If possible, you have to paraphrase. You have to ask questions, di ba? To make sure you understand their point of view. Then, focus on the issue, not on the person. Another one is, in order to resolve this conflict, you must also consider their audience or consider your audience. If there will be cultural differences, you must understand. Be mindful on cultural differences, meaning sometimes, say for instance, in one class, you notice that we have non-Filipino classmates, di ba? You have non-Filipino classmates in class. Those are one Japanese. I noticed one is African. So there, of course, will be cultural differences. Just like in my class, I received one WhatsApp message in Chinese. So I must know how to understand that I don't understand or I don't, uh, how do you call that, decipher Chinese language. So I must adjust. I must have interpreter, I must have translator to get the message of that student. I won't ignore the message. It might be very important or urgent. Who knows that message was his submission in my class. And I must also instruct him to use the English language as our medium of instruction and the official. So if he has his translator or in other gadget, he must use that one. Okay? So I must also utilize appropriate channels. Say for instance, if I'm going to communicate formal message, it must be in a formal channel. Meaning channels means the avenues, the engines that you must use in giving your message. The communication channels in order for you to avoid communication conflict. That's all. Thank you.
So, ma'am, from the previous question, you've answered ways to resolve a communication conflict. So now, in your personal or work experience, have you experienced conflicts due to communication? If so, what do you think was the reason it led to such a conflict?
Okay, so personally, I have already experienced this communication conflict. Of course, sometimes with your superior, uh, many conflicts or many communication conflicts, okay, rose or came into being due to unclear expectations. Okay, sometimes what they expect from you are different from your output. So you must know how to identify the expectations being expected from you, the output that you must deliver within the day. So you must have mismatched styles. So you have to match the styles. You have to match the expectations from your superior.
What is your idea of a communication conflict?
Based on what I have shared with you, miscommunication conflict for me is disagreement or misunderstanding. The issues, the perk of online interview. Okay, so literally, miscommunication conflict for me is the misunderstandings that rise in sending or receiving any message from a person or from the one giving you that message. So it is maybe because of unclear instruction leading to errors. One person is dominating the conversation. Maybe that person wants that we must do the talking and does not allow somebody to share. That is also one of the causes of communication conflicts. Okay, so others or the listeners will feel unheard. So one is for listening skill also. So if you are not satisfied or if you did not understand or if you receive a message different from what the sender is sending you, that is miscommunication conflict.
Now that you've given your insights about communication conflicts, for the final question, what advice can you give students in handling communication conflicts effectively?
Okay, so just like us, adults, professionals, students like you must also address this communication conflict. Okay, so when you say communication, meaning you have to receive the proper or the correct or the purpose of that communication itself. So if there is communication conflict, meaning you didn't get the purpose of that communication or sending information. Maybe you have received wrong or there is a misunderstanding. There's a conflict or issues between the sender and the receiver. And for you, the students, just like what I have told you a while ago, you have to clarify everything. Just ask questions if you didn't understand, or you understand but you had a second thought that what you have received is not enough, misleading, wrong information, or different purpose of what is being sent to you. You have to clarify everything. And the most important thing is for you to be a good listener. And good listener, good communicator does not mean that you must always speak in English or you must always good in using the English language. But you have to always remember that communication is giving information correctly. If communication conflicts arise, you have to immediately address this one. So be clear and concise. Be mindful of cultural differences. Be mindful of individual differences. Especially, there are some who cannot understand or who cannot receive or comprehend the thoughts you are sharing. You must be proactive to listen or send or address these conflicts in communication.
Thank you so much, Prof. Garcia, for sharing your insights and experiences about communication conflicts. I'm sure our Rizalian learned a lot today about how conflicts arise, how to resolve them, and most importantly, how to handle them wisely. And that wraps up today's episode of Night with JRU chapter. Until next time, goodbye, Rizalians!